Diddle-a-dum-dum. British Strongman podcast. You value obviously getting results with clients as like an elite coach, but also as well, what I think is like people ask this question all the time, like, do you need to be strong to be a good coach, or do you need to be a good athlete to be a good coach? And my opinion changed on this a lot over the years. I go back and forth, but currently I do feel like the thing that's really, really valuable is even though if you're not necessarily winning comps or you're the top of your game, I do think it's important to be able, not important, but I think it adds a hell of a lot of value as a coach if you can put yourself in the client's shoes and know what they're feeling, what you know, using that high frequency deadlift phase, for instance, or whatever. And you think on paper, yeah, you know what, actually, it does make a bit of sense. I'll try it with this athlete, it'll suit it, she'll be fine. I'm not going to run it myself or whatever, blah, 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 blah. You know, when you do try these things yourself in these different phases, we've talked about it before on here, like you get unforeseen benefits, the stuff that you didn't realize from the theory. You're like,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. And this is the thing, Josh, right? Would you hire, if you wanted to take your business to the next level and you wanted to get, double your revenue, would you hire someone that wasn't making more money than you, that was struggling to help you grow your business? You wouldn't, because you'd be like, well, how come you're not making loads of money? Oh no, I just help other people make money, mate. I can't be asked doing all. I know what to do, but I don't do it. You'd be like, this doesn't quite sound right, mate. Who is it that you've helped make money? Oh, well, this guy came to me as a millionaire and now he's got double his revenue. And you think to yourself, right, so you made somebody who's already rich a little bit richer. Have you made anyone who's completely poor go to rich? You know what I mean? So this is the thing with like coaching, is you need to like look at what someone's doing and how they're doing it, and then look at the overall results, instead of a lot of coaches have like a standout client or 5 standout clients. Yeah. Well, is that just value with them, or is it because they're actually extracting good results? What are their other clients like? And then you can kind of build this theory about someone. And if somebody doesn't train, then I don't care what anybody says. You get fucking anyone, Hip Kiss, because he'll argue this, get him on here and I'll put it in plain terms. You cannot be as good a coach with just books and just knowledge and just training people, because when you go through training phases, like you say, you just learn stuff. I have learned something every single training phase I have done for 15 years.
Right. And well, I'm gonna put a diplomatic angle on this, and I'm gonna conclude with the fact that whether you argue whether you need to be or not, it certainly adds a lot of value if you can put yourself in the client's shoes, in my opinion.
Yeah, by the way, saying, like you said, I'm not saying you got to be some world record holding lifter. I'm just saying you got to live the life. You've got to understand what it's like when a niggle crops up. You've got to understand what it's push yourself on a
and exactly. I can relate to this with my own coaching. Like I'm looking at things like in fact, I've dug some old content out, some videos that are really old from a few years ago, like say 3 years ago, whatever. And I'm just saying the same things as I say now. But the difference is in terms of how I've developed as a coach, beyond the kind of books and theory, anatomy and physiology and stuff, is like a few years ago, I decided that, you know what, like I'm confident I can go and apply these principles to, I'm proving that I'm helping people getting better, blah, 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 pretty simple. Oh, it'd be pretty cool to do it myself. And wouldn't it be good if I could go and win some comps or whatever? Like I'm not very good now at a starting point, but I reckon I could go and win some comps. And that's like exactly what I've done. And that's what I'm like, got
said as well, when you walk, because when something crops up with your clients, you can be like, relate, because you will
exactly.
It's like a similar journey, like, you know, like when you've got for example, the mindset that you get into when you've got, like, let's say you got a back niggle and you've got to work at low percentage on your deadlift and reload or something.
Yeah.
Head fuck. You know that what you would probably do to make yourself stay online, in line and on track, you'd probably put your focus to something that's pain free, like log, and be like, look, we're going to do this mad log peak, and we're going to make sure that that's where you can put your focus so that you can pull yourself away from the deadlift, and then you can just reload it and you don't really bother too much. Whereas if you're focusing on head, it's very disheartening. So we learn stuff like that, how to deal with, and I don't care what anybody says. You can't put yourself. You might think that you know what's going on, but until you've done it, then, and not just done it, but done it multiple times, over and over and over and over and over again. Like I say, I've been doing this 15 years, and every single training phase, I have come away with like light bulb moments where I've learned stuff, and it's invaluable. Speak to any good lifter as well. If you speak to someone who's been lifting 10, 15 years, who's really strong, you get to know that like there's a lot of trends. Like you just learn stuff.
Of course, to get to the higher you climb, the more barriers you've overcome, haven't you? The more obstacles you come. So if I say, "Oh fuck me, Shane," like I haven't heard anybody like my knees are hurting from doing. My knees are all right when I squat, but when I push press, my knees are hurting at the front. Like, have you ever heard of this?
Yeah,
heard it thousands of times. You've got say 15 different paths that we could try that this person's lost, and but you know exactly what that feels like, don't you? Do you know what I mean? I was speaking to Tim in the gym last night, and he was gone.
You learn weird workarounds, don't you? Because a lot of people get to that situation, they feel stuck. Whereas someone who's a bit more experienced, they'll be like, "Oh, I'll try this, I'll do that, I'll do my toes, I'll turn my feet out, I'll focus more on pushing my hip back," and and then you can find these little mini workarounds.
Right. Anyway, let's move on. We've got a good point on that, so that was good. So yeah, like as I was saying, to recap on this little section, like what's so good about Shane is that I'm a big believer that he does add a lot of value. Whether it's essential, I'm not saying it's essential, but it does certainly add a lot of value if you know that, like say if I've got a problem personally, and I think with my lifting, like it is just so kind of refreshing to know that I've got this little barrier, this bit of trouble. I can go and speak to Shane, and I can ask him, and I know that he's probably going to like dealt it or felt it, or he's going to be able to feel like give empathy and compassion to my problem, because he'll have done that at some point to get to where he is on lift X, Y, and Z. He's done that, whether it be a phase, whether it be a whatever. So that's great. So go on.
I am with my knowledge and my experience, I never ever try and blow my own trumpet and pretend I know shit I don't. So what I don't know everything, you know what I mean? Like for example, Shane Flowers, and the reason why I'm using this example is because you'll know I did this. Shane Flowers came to me, he's really struggling with shin splints and on his yoke and stuff. I have never experienced shin splints in my life. It's just not something I've ever dealt with. And I said to Shane, like, look, mate, I don't know. Basically, I said, this is what I would do, I think, if it was me. But again, this would be my first step. And if it didn't work, I'd figure some more shit out. But I can't put myself in your shoes, so I've never felt it. Josh has felt this. Speak to Josh. Shane messaged you, and you sent him that little protocol to use after Worlds. And I was like, right, we'll go with that. So yeah, I haven't experienced everything. I've just experienced a lot. And I'm not shy of like delegating, not delegating, but you know what I mean? Like referring out to someone else to help. Like I refer to Tom Hibb a lot, Andrew Triana, and you, that you're kind of my free go-tos.
Yeah. So I personally, I think that's so good that you like, that someone can have the confidence to actually, I suppose it's just like this, right? This thing that I'm going to release here that is just all about you. Yeah. And I'm going to release it to all my audience because I'm so confident that it's going to add so much value to me. It's going to add so much value to you. The more people that listen